Oh, what's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? Back at it again with another episode. And I haven't uploaded in about like 2-3 weeks, so forgive me. Bear with me. Bear with me. I had a bunch of shit to handle, my personal life and all that shit. And I was just like, yo, right now is not the time to be talking about podcast shit right now, basketball shit right now. I got to put it on hold for a week or so. But we back at it. We back at it. Like we never left. Like we never fucking left. How y'all doing, man? How's everybody? Crazy events that happened this week already. Crazy events. I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago. The world lost Ozzy Osbourne. R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne. Let's get a moment of silence right now for Ozzy. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Ozzy Osbourne, I mean, like, obviously, like, without Ozzy and Black Sabbath, there wouldn't be all these other bands like Metallica and all this, you know what I mean? Green Day, any other band after them. I was thinking, I was like, wait, where was Black Sabbath before or after the Doors? But then I realized it was after the Doors because the Doors were only like they were only popping for like a good like handful of years. They didn't really have the longevity like that, especially another RIP Jim Morrison, another great talented wild musician, you know what I mean, artist. And it's crazy cuz I see on my TikTok a bunch of Aussie stuff now. And I know you're probably thinking like, oh, you don't fuck with Ozzy like that. Like you only listen to rap, hip hop, and shit. Yo, I was watching the fucking show back then. I was watching the show, and on top of that, the way I found out about Ozzy Osbourne was Little Nicky. Was the movie Little Nicky, for real? I swear to God. And I was talking to my sister yesterday or the other day when he passed away, and I was like, yo, like it's crazy because I was born in 97. That's my number right there, 97. Anyways, so I was born in 97. So like by the time like their show came out, I was like gaining my consciousness. I was like 6, 7, something like that. You know what I mean? 6, 7 years old. So I was like understanding little things little by little. And then I told her, I was like, it's crazy because my whole life I seen him like, looking old and stuff like that. Same thing with Ric Flair. Like, you know what I mean? Ric Flair is getting old too. I'm gonna get into wrestlers in a minute. Bear with me. But let me get my flowers to Ozzy real quick. I'm gonna get to the wrestlers in a minute. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The Hulkster, brother. But let me get into that. Hold on. So, like my whole life growing up, I seen him like old. So I was just like, oh, okay. Like and now I see now that he's passed away, they bring, all the uh pictures and videos when he was younger, when he was, in his prime with Black Sabbath and stuff. And I'm like, yo, that's how he looked like when he was young. I'm like, that fool looks like someone I know like today, like right now, and shit like that. I was like, that fool looks familiar. I could have swore I seen that fool the other day. But I was like tripping because that's how it is. Like people are born and then they just like see people and then they're like aged and then they just see them that way their whole life. Like obviously we're not getting any younger. So obviously like seeing all these young Aussie pictures, I'm just like, yo, that's him. Like that was him wilding out back then. I was like, I can't imagine like someone, looking like that wilding the fuck out. But then you got to think of it. It was like the 80s and shit. You know what I mean? And that's when it was like peak rock and roll, fucking sex, drugs and crime. You know what I mean? That's the era I should be born in. I was born to be a fucking rock star. Yo, and I say that because because I tweeted that earlier. Because after work, I put on some rock song and I was just like, like, just like, doing the whole like trying to scream. I can't really scream like that and shit, but just saying like the lyrics and shit like that. Like, what was the song I posted the other day where it's like, open up my eyes, save me what's been broken. That shit. I think it's called what? Waiting or something like that. Not Forgotten. Look it up. Anyways, R.I.P. to Ozzy. And that was my first introduction to Ozzy was through Lil Nicky. So shout out to Adam Sandler for getting that cameo, getting that Ozzy Osbourne cameo in the movie. Because I seen him and I was like, oh, like he's just a normal actor. But then as I grew up and I found out he came out with the show, and I was like, oh, the show, and they're like, oh, like, you know, my sister was telling me like, oh yeah, he used to be in a band back then and make music and all this shit. And I was just like, oh shit, like I thought it was just like, you know, like where was he from anyways? Because he's got that accent and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy. But R.I.P. Ozzy, R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne, man, for real. Thank you for the countless bangers and songs to listen to. Like there was this other song. It was called "Close My Eyes Forever," featuring, or it's made by Lita Ford, featuring Ozzy Osbourne. And I seen some guy on TikTok. He was recording himself. He was like crying, and he had this song in the background. Excuse me, mate. And I was just like, damn, like, and I was looking at the comments, because you know comments sometimes like be roasting people and shit like that or whatever, like trying to like support one another and shit, especially in a time like this when people grew up, older generation folks grew up on Ozzy, like my age, you know, like 20s ish. And yeah, so it's like weird. No, it's not weird. So it's like crazy to think like, damn, like them back then, this is like, because I seen the comment, the dude was like, oh, let it out, brother. Like, I'm right there with you, like, you know, crying with him. And then the dude who posted it, the creator of the video, he commented back and he was like, I lost a part of my childhood. And I was just like, and it just like, I read that and then I went back to the video and seen him like crying like that. And I was like, yo, like, and I was thinking like, yo, that's the way I felt when Kobe passed away, bro. Like that was fucking me right there. Like just letting it out, just crying like a fucking baby, bro. But hey, we know like celebrities, we never meet them or we see them once, but at the same time, like their impact on us, like our daily lives and shit like that, their lyrics and shit like that shit low key be speaking to us and shit, or certain situations that you going through and shit. You know what I mean? Like to detour real quick, like when I was going through my divorce and shit, and Kanye came out with that song, or I heard he didn't come out with it. He came out with it years ago, but I heard it after the divorce, and it's Still Dreaming. He says, pulled up in his 7630 and his 745. He's like going off. And then he's like, he said, when you go to sleep, what do you think about? When y'all get a divorce, you gonna take everything except the kitchen sink out. Make her so cold that you gotta pull your mink out. Like, yo, that shit happened. Like, she took everything, bro. Like, she took the kitchen sink out. She took everything, bro. Like, all she left was a pillow. And I was like, God damn. I was like standing in that bitch like Will Smith, like hands in the pockets and everything. Like, damn. And then he's like, make it so cold that you gotta pull your mink out. Like, that's some cold hearted shit, bitch. You know what I mean? That's some cold hearted shit, bitch. I gotta pull my mink out. You know what I mean? Anyways, moving on, man. Moving the fuck on. And today we lost another legend, dude. Another WWE legend. I can't do a good Hulk impression, bro. I try, but I know I'm not gonna sound like exactly like the Hulkster, dude. brother, dude. Yo, it's fucking. It's like half the people are like, oh, like respect. Oh, thank you, Hulk Hogan, for the memories and stuff like that. But the other half is like, yo, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, like have fun in hell and all that shit. Like, yo, what? And like, obviously, when people pass away, they come out with a bunch of they shit, a bunch of like, oh, from when they first got famous to when they passed away. Like, they go over every chapter, every month or whatever year of their life and shit like that. And then they just put on display. Like, I heard a fucking audio recording of this fool fucking Hulk Hogan talking about like, oh, like, yeah, like, what is it? What's his daughter's name? Brooke? Yeah, he's like, yeah, Brooke, she wants to get with a black guy. And then, you know, I'm racist to a point. You know, he's got to be a fucking N-word and blah, blah, blah. Like, all this shit, bro. Like, you throwing the word around so freely and shit. And plus, I seen a video of him, like, shaking a black person's hand, and then he shook the dude's wife's hand, and then he got a paper towel and he started wiping his hands after. Like, oh, you slimy motherfucker. That's when you know that's top tier racism right there. Like, not even waiting to the car to say some shit like, oh, like these black people and blah, blah. Like, I don't condone racism, but it's like, yo, like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, there's a time, like, I'm not saying there's a time and place, but I'm just saying, like, doing it like that, like, after you shake the girl's hand, get a paper towel, wipe your hands, like, all right, bro, we know you're like that, but you might as well not have shaken their hand in the first place. You know what I mean? You might as well not have shook their hand in the first place. That's all I'm gonna say. What is my favorite memory by Hulk Hogan? I really don't give a shit, because every time he returned to the WWE, it just got worse and worse. Like, I seen a video, it was like, oh, Hulk Hogan making his last appearance at the WWE. Dude, literally, once they shut his music off, all crickets. Like, no one making a sound, no one saying nothing. Like, as soon as he said, oh, I've been in this business for 40 years, and every time I come here, I feel welcomed and blah, blah. But he wasn't even, like, no one was welcoming him like that. You know what I mean? So it's just like, bro, like, you going out sad now. You know what I mean? Especially they took him out of the Hall of Fame. Oh my gosh, bro. You know how much of a fucking, like, I don't want to tarnish no dead man's, like, legacy and stuff like that, but do you know how much of a, like, slimy guy, a snail, you know what I mean? You know how much of a snail you have to be for them to put you in? Like, oh yeah, you wrestled Andre the Giant. Oh, you made what is it? Monumental moments. Monumental, that's what it is. Monumental moments against Andre the Giant. Oh, all this and that. Oh, what is it? Hollywood Hogan. Oh, NWO here. And then you get into the Hall of Fame. And then they take you out. You know how much of a slimy motherfucker you have to be for them to take you out? After they just put you in? But I'm back in, dude. I'm back in, brother. They put me back in the Hall of Fame after I said the N-word, dude. Because Brooke Hogan, dude, she wanted to get with a black guy, dude. She wanted to get with a black guy, brother. At least get with a Mexican. You know, Mexicans, beans, they work hard, dude. They work hard. That shit, what am I saying right now? Like, I'm just going off. I'm just going off on a whole Hulk Hogan fucking journey right now. Anyways, back to the shits. Back to the shits. We're going to go over some key moments in this year's free agency. Deals, extensions, and trades from NBA.com. And in addition to the Atlanta Hawks starting off, they got Luke Kennard, shooter Luke Kennard. I don't know how they got Kristaps, but they got Kristaps from that Boston trade, I believe. And was Terrence Mann in it? Because his name is linked into it. Yeah. Oh, the Nets. When the fuck did Terrence Mann get on the Nets? That's what I want to know. Because I could have swore he ended the season off with the Clippers. So he went from the Nets to now the Hawks. So he's with the Hawks now. No, wait, he's not with the Hawks. He's still with the Nets. I'm fucking bugging. All right, I'm tripping right now. So George Niang goes to the Celtics. Hawks get KP. The Nets get Terrence Mann. I never even knew that shit. Forgive me, Terrence Mann. But, or when the fuck was he on the Hawks? So he landed on the Hawks. So he landed on the Nets from the Hawks. Yo, Terrence Mann, what's going on, bro? I thought he was with the Clippers the whole time. Anyways, moving on to Boston. They got Luka Garza on a 2-year deal. Josh Minot. Yo, they got Anthony Simons. That's low key a come up. especially if Tatum's gonna be out the whole season. That's a good backup to Tatum right there. To fill in that gap right there. But they let go of Drew Holiday, obviously Kristaps. Brooklyn Nets additions, the key addition they got was Michael Porter Jr. Honestly, was Michael Porter Jr. Good shit. And departures, players that left, Cam Johnson went to the Nuggets in that Michael Porter Jr. trade, and D'Angelo Russell departed from the Nets, and D'Angelo Russell's now on the Mavericks. So, Charlotte Hornets. I seen a post the other day. It's like, who do you have, or who will like turn their franchise around quicker, like the Hornets or the Wizards, or some shit like that. If the Hornets keep making stupid ass additions like this, they're not gonna get far. They got Mason Plumlee, another Plumlee brother. They had the old Plumlee brother way back then. Now they got the other brother. Why are you doing that? Why are you getting the Plumlee brother, brother? Hulk Hogan just came out, dude. Why you get the Plumlee brother? And Spencer Dinwiddie went back to Charlotte. I could have swore this fool's been on Charlotte like 3 times, bro. I could have swore this fool's been on Charlotte like 3 times, been on the Nets 3 times, been on the Mavericks 3 times. Like, what the fuck is going on, bro? And Yusuf Nurkic, he went from Charlotte to the Jazz. What the fuck? Chicago Bulls didn't really get anybody. They only got Isaac Okoro in the trade for Lonzo. So Lonzo lands on Cleveland, and Cleveland landed Larry Nance Jr. So Larry Nance Jr. went back? Why would he do that? So Lonzo Ball, now they got now they're trying to get the young, oh my gosh, now they got the young core. They got Lonzo Ball and Larry Nance. Same with the Knicks. The Knicks got Jordan Clarkson and Josh Hart. That's our fucking young core right there, brother. Obviously on Dallas, re-signing Kyrie. They re-signed Dante Exum. Why? They added D'Angelo Russell, and moving on to the Nuggets. They got Bruce Brown. That's good. Bruce Brown should have never left. I saw that as KCP leaving us after that 2021 season when we traded KCP, or he left or some shit like that. I don't know why the fuck the Lakers did that shit. Shit was so stupid, bro. Literally our only fucking shooter, because after that, our shooting went to shit. Anyways, Bruce Brown, yeah, he should have never left the Nuggets. He should have just stayed with him. Nuggets added Cam Johnson. They added Tim Hardaway Jr. Fuck yeah, dude. And they traded for Jonas Valanciunas. And Jonas Valanciunas, he was gonna end up going overseas. He was gonna go back home, back to the motherland or something, play for the overseas. But he had already like verbally agreed, I think so. So yeah, he didn't want to leave like the Nuggets like hanging in the air or just left there to rot and shit. So he was just like, oh, I'm gonna honor my, contract with Denver. And Pistons, they didn't really they let go of Tim Hardaway Jr., Dennis Schroeder, but Dennis Schroeder don't really, I mean, he's solid. He give you minutes, but can you rely on him like that? You know what I mean? Can you rely on him like that to lead a team? And Pistons get Karis LeVert on a 2-year deal, and Duncan Robinson on a sign and trade, agreeing to a 3-year deal. I mean, that's good. Shit. And the Warriors didn't get nobody. They didn't resign nobody. They let go of Kevin Looney. That's wild. And fucking Houston Rockets made the biggest fucking changes of the offseason right here. They re-signed Steven Adams, re-signed Aaron Holiday. Jeff Green got a new deal. Obviously, Jeff Green and Kevin Durant, they locked in since the Sonic days. So obviously, Kevin Durant was going to go there. I had a feeling. Plus, Steven Adams is there. And I said it in my previous podcast, like, yo, get Stephen A on the phone. Get Steven on the phone. Make that call. Make that call to KD. And Jabari Smith Jr. agrees to a 5-year extension. Damn. They got Jayshawn Tate on a New Year deal again. They kept him. Fred Van Vliet extends to a 2-year deal. Clint Capella agrees to a 3-year deal. So Clint Capella is back on the Rockets. Obviously, they get Kevin Durant. Dorian Finney-Smith agreed to a 4-year, and Josh Okogie on a 1-year deal with them. And right here, moving on to the Indiana Pacers, Isaiah Jackson returns on a 3-year deal. James Wiseman returns on a 2-year deal. James Wiseman, dude, wasn't he? Wait, I was gonna say, wasn't he the number 1 pick? Was he, or was it? I really don't know. I think James Wiseman draft. Where did he get selected? He got selected number 2. He got selected number 2? Oh, Anthony Edwards was number 1. I thought Anthony Edwards was number 3, but then I was like, wait, no, LaMelo was number 3. Cause I remember it was like, oh, like, you know how I talk to you about like players and numbers and shit like that? How Dwayne Wade raised the number 3, he got 3 rings, played with 3 different teams, right? Or am I right? Forgive me. He played with Heat, Chicago, and then Cleveland. But did he go somewhere else after that? Did he go back to Miami or back to... I think he went back to Miami. Yeah, he ended his career off there. Yeah, 3 different teams. How I was telling you about numbers and shit. Like Lonzo Ball wore number 2, went number 2 in the draft. Like LaMelo was supposed to go number 1. You know what I mean? It's destiny. Anyways, James Wiseman returns on a 2-year deal. They got Jay Huff. Wow. Yo, what a fucking downgrade. They let Miles Turner walk, and they picked up Jay Huff. They picked up Brennan Huff from fucking Step Brothers, dude. Brennan Huff. All right, here in the Clippers, re-sign Nicholas Batum on a 2-year deal. They keep James Harden on a 2-year extension. Bradley Beal agrees to a 2-year. John Collins, they got him on that trade. And Brook Lopez agrees to a 2-year deal. Chris Paul agrees to a 1-year deal. So Chris Paul and LeBron are going to share farewell tours. And they let Norman Powell walk. And they waived Devin Eubanks. Here we go to the Lakers. The Lakers right here. Re-sign Jackson Hayes on a 1-year deal. Additions. DeAndre Ayton on a 2-year deal. Jake LaRavia on a 2-year deal. And Marcus fucking Smart on a 2-year deal. What a fucking way to get some perimeter defense by the Lakers. Good fucking shit. Thank you. And obviously, we let Dorian Finney-Smith walk. And Grizzlies, they keep Santi Aldama. Jaren Jackson Jr. signs 5-year extension. Cam Spencer returns on a 2-year deal. And their additions, KCP, Ty Jerome with a 3-year deal, and Jock Landale. Lyman. Wait, departures. Cole Anthony? Oh, okay. So he joined the team after the Magic trade with that Desmond Bain trade, but then they waived him. So Cole Anthony got no team right now. Davion Mitchell returns on a 2-year deal for Miami, and obviously the good addition in Norman Powell for Miami. Right here, Milwaukee. Still no word on Giannis if he's gonna sign an extension or something like that. But I believe he's still gonna sign an extension. But anyways, Milwaukee Bucks are keeping Kevin Porter Jr. They're keeping Bobby Portis. I was gonna say Taurean Prince at the same time. They keep Bobby Portis, Taurean Prince, Ryan Rollins, Jericho Sims, Gary Trent Jr. What are you doing right here? Additions: Cole Anthony, Miles Turner, and Gary Harris. I seen a post, and it showed Bucks roster, including Giannis. It showed the Bucks roster, and they said put your thumb over Giannis's face, and now look at the roster. Yo, I was like, all right. So I did it, and I was like, oh, what the fuck is this roster? I was like, who the fuck are these people? I was like, this is who you got. This is who you got around Giannis, a fucking generational type player. Obviously, like other players, like a fucking Zion, generational type player, but you're fucking babying this motherfucker. You know what I mean? That's the shit that I hate. Like that these fucking NBA teams, they get these fucking great fucking players, good fucking players. But the player, it's himself. He wants to fucking go 100%. He wants to bust ass. He wants to bust his ass off. You know what I mean? He wants to work and all this shit. But when you're a fucking team and you're limiting that type of potential, then you're fucking limiting yourself. You're limiting your franchise from actually achieving success. That shit just pisses me off, bro. Anyways, moving on. Obviously, speaking of Pelicans, we're moving on to the Pelicans side. They re-signed Herb Jones on a 3-year deal. They added Sadiq Bey via trade with the Wizards, Kevon Looney, and Jordan Poole. So Kevon Looney signs to a 2-year deal, and that trade with Sadiq Bey, I believe, they threw in Jordan Poole, so Jordan Poole lands on the Pelicans. And Bruce Brown, I didn't even know he was on the Pelicans. So there you go. So CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk get traded for Sadiq Bey and Jordan Poole. Here we go to the New York side. No re-signing, no departures, just adding Jordan Clarkson and Gerson Yabusele. All right, that's it. That's how you pronounce it. And Oklahoma City Thunder coming off the championship, winning the championship. We'll give a round of applause real quick. Coming off winning the NBA championship, they re-signed Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to a 4-year extension. Also extending Chet Holmgren to a 5-year deal. AJ Mitchell returns on a 3-year deal. Jalen Williams returns on a 5-year extension. And then the other Jalen Williams off the bench, the one that they say that looks like Duke Dennis, 3-year extension. Who else? Right here on the Magic side. We're almost done with this. Bear with me. If I close my eyes forever. All right. Here on the Magic side, Paulo Banchero extend him to a 5-year deal. They extend Mo Wagner to another 1-year deal, I guess. The additions are Desmond Bane and Tyus Jones. All right, I get the Desmond Bane, but adding Tyus Jones, why do you need another point guard? Why do you need another small ball, short guy, if you want to say. In a league like today, you can't really have like the traditional type point guard, the little man, you know what I mean? You're not going to do much with that. All right, so Philadelphia 76ers, Eric Gordon returns on a 1-year deal. Kyle Lowry returns on a 1-year deal. And I believe Kyle Lowry is this is his last year too. Because Kyle Lowry's been in the league for 20 years, bro. 20 years. That's fucking insane. So moving on to the Phoenix side. Devin Booker agrees to a 2-year extension. Jared Butler, I thought it said Jimmy Butler, but additions Jared Butler to a 1-year deal. Dylan Brooks joins via 7-team trade deal. That was wild. And the Lakers only got like 1 player out of that shit, which is fucking weird. Like you would have thought we would have got more. Phoenix additions, Jalen Green. That's a good addition. Hey, Mark Williams via trade with the Hornets. That trade went through, not like the one with LA. I can't believe it. Anyways, Portland, they finessed the system. After that, what is it? The year and a half prior when they were struggling to oh, when they were struggling with, Damian Lillard. What do we do with Damian Lillard? Oh, he wants to trade. Oh, they trade him to Milwaukee. Oh, what do you get from Milwaukee? You get a Drew Holiday. Oh, Drew Holiday don't really want to be there. Oh, okay. Then you deal with him to Boston. And you somehow finesse the system and you plan to get Drew Holiday and Damian Lillard back on the fucking Portland Trailblazers, bro. Fucking insane. But moving on to Sacramento Kings right here. They re-sign Doug McBuckets. They add on Devin Eubanks, Dennis Schroeder, and Dario Saric. San Antonio Spurs, Jordan McLaughlin, 1-year deal. Jordan McLaughlin, i.e. native. Let's give him a round of applause. Jordan McLaughlin returns to San Antonio on a 1-year deal. Additions are Luke Cornett, forgive me, had to take a moment of silence. I can't even read right now. Luke Cornett to a 4-year deal. Kelly Olynyk joins via trade. And yeah, this is not really... the Raptors end up keeping Jakob Poeltl and Garrett Temple. And moving on to the Jazz get Kevin Love. If I'm Kevin Love, I'm retiring. You know, I'm not going to have that picture come out of me in a Utah jersey, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, same energy," and then they put Shaq in a Boston jersey. Like, I'm not going out that way. If I'm Kevin Love, I'm not going out that way. I'm retiring right now. Give me my 1 championship. I'm retiring right now. I don't give a fuck. But the Utah Jazz, they get Kyle Anderson, Kevin Love, and Yusuf Nurkic. And Washington, they re-sign Marvin Bagley III on a 1-year deal. Obviously, CJ McCollum and Kelly Olynyk. Yeah, Kelly Olynyk. And Cam Whitmore. Shout outs to Cam Whitmore. I heard he's like a good, like, underrated player, but those are the signings of the offseason and the trades and the extensions of the offseason. So I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all for coming out. Excuse me. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Peace. One love, man. Love yourself before you love anyone else. Yes, sir. Thanks for watching. Also, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, follow me on my socials. Instagram, Twitter, No Signal Mondo. Podcast IG, No Signal Pod. Spotify, No Signal Podcast. And my stream, kick.com/BeanMondo.
Baby.